Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite talk show, Bahrain Now. With me, your host, Lars Imran. We've got a great show lined up full of local talents, initiatives, and happenings from around the island. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. A young Bahraini lady who has dedicated her passion in house planting has grown her dedication to share effective tips and advice for providing a better environment for your plants at home. With us in the studio today is Noura Al-Aradi. Hi, and welcome to our studio today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here.
So tell us, how did your passion start in houseplants?
Well, I've always been into places with greenery. I've always loved to travel around to the countryside. I like to, you can see me always positioning my pictures behind a tree, in front of a tree, next to their plants. I've always loved to see a place with full of greenery and plants. So till I moved to my own house, and I started collecting one plant after another, and I see how it dramatically changed the ambience of the whole place. I mean, the place looks absolutely amazing with plants, completely different when it's dull. Because the house,
a plant can brighten it up.
Brighten up, and actually it really beautifies the place. Specifically, that there are so many studies that prove that the green color evokes the renewal, like the signs of renewal. Evokes it gives you a good stress relief.
Yeah, I like how you say it gives you good stress relief, because as well at home we have real plants, not fake plants. That's how I look at it as well. It has to be real plants.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, because when you look at the fake plants, it's like, oh, hi, fake plant. But real plants as well, sometimes they even have sometimes a nicer smell.
Yeah.
I know that plants don't really give smells, but it does give that freshness into the house. What would you say is the importance of growing plants at home?
Actually, there are so many benefits to grow plants at home. One of them is that it clarifies the air. Like there are so many studies that proven that it absorbs toxins and it filters microbes. There are also great researches that prove that a room that is filled with beautiful plants has less airborne microbes compared to a room
that
without,
doesn't have.
exactly.
Yeah. And how would you say it affects our mood as well? Do you think there's a role in that?
Yes, definitely. Let's think about it. If you were, for example, currently in the pandemic, we're all working from home, some of us working from home. So it really enhances productivity. You know, some of the scientists, professionals, anyone who wants to brainstorm, who wants to think in a peaceful mind would go outside to the nature. So why don't you bring the nature inside? It will give you a stress relief feeling. It will enhances your mood, enhances the memory. It will give you all kind of good things in your life.
It brings a brightness into your life.
Definitely, it does.
Brightness into your life, into your home, into your office maybe as well.
Definitely, because I got so many projects where I mean consultation projects where I advise a couple of companies where to put their plants, and they go like, no, one plant is enough. I'm like, if you fill an office with plants, you will have your employees working in a better way, or they will be more productive.
Yeah, I get what you mean, because if one plant is just one plant, but then maybe with different plants, there's a lot of people who love having so many around them because it just brightens up their day.
Definitely.
Yeah. What would you say is the difference between indoor plants and outdoor plants?
I would describe outdoor plants in one word. It's surprising, it's challenging. Because if you think about it, outdoor gardening or outdoor plants surrounded by so many factors that you can't really control. You can't really control the sun, the rain, so many things. For example, the wind that brings up pests, dusts, the water, it gets evaporates really fast. You can't really control that, and it's very challenging, and you need to be someone dedicated to understand outdoor gardening. However, when it comes to indoor plants, you can customize your own house or your own place depending on what your plant needs. For example, I do have a plant that requires bright indirect light, so I put it on my east window.
Yeah.
I do have a plant that requires bright direct light. I put it on my west window. I have a plant that requires high humidity. I put it under a pebble tree, or I put a humidifier next to it.
Okay.
So you can customize what your plant needs depending on the plant.
Yeah. So you can figure out what each plant needs, and then figure a way to give that plant what it needs.
Definitely, yeah.
I would like to ask you, so what are the main factors for indoor planting?
The main factors is first of all is the light. Light is very essential to grow and for the plant to thrive. Second is the right temperature, because you know these plants were originally outdoor plants. I mean, no plants was
actually grown indoor.
Exactly, indoors. They were all in their tropical forests. They were brought from different places. So you have to accumulate your place with the right temperature that the plant was born in, or let's say grew in. Third is the humidity. Some of the plants like it dry, some of the plants like it very humid. So there is a way to enhance the humidity in the house, which placing a humidifier, putting a glass of water next to a plant so it evaporates and creates more, or clubbing all the plants together for better humidity. The main thing, or not the main thing, the thing that people mess up with a lot is the watering routine.
Yeah. Because people think, oh, let me just put water and then, okay, my plant's going to live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So water is one of the main factor, because you can't really grow a plant without giving it the right amount of water.
Yeah.
So also the medium, the soil. The medium is also one of the most important factors. If you get the right medium for the right plant, then you're good.
I like how you said the water, because like I'm maybe one of those people that, oh, I'll just put a little bit of water at this time, then maybe again at this time, and then be like, okay, my plant should live. But like you said, there's more to it than just giving it water and thinking, okay, yeah, your plant's gonna live. Yeah, because they need this all the time.
Actually, most of the people that reach out to me on my Instagram page and they ask about, they go like, I don't know what's wrong with my plant. I give it water every day. I don't know why it's dying. Well, this is why it's dying, because you're caring for it more than you should.
Yeah.
You're giving it more water. Think about the roots like our skin. You know, when we stay in the pool or for a long time, your skin you're really mushy.
Very.
So think about the roots. If you keep them in soggy, or let's say in a wet, saturated soil, they're just going to get mushy and end up rotted.
Yeah, so then they start dying. Okay, I never knew that. Now I know why sometimes my indoor plants tend to die on me a lot.
The right watering schedule is very important.
It's very important. That's something I need to take into consideration. Okay. Can you tell us about the plants you brought with you here today?
This plant is called snake plant. It's called it's Sansevieria. It's called snake plants. There are many types of it. It's one of, let's say, superheroes plant. It thrives in any kind of condition.
Okay.
It tolerates low light, medium light, and high light.
So it's like the best and maybe a little bit the easiest one to have at home.
The most low maintenance plant. And you can see it's absolutely gorgeous. It would fit in any decor. It would fit in modern and classic decors. And I strongly think that I suggest this plant for beginners, because it requires water only once a month. Sometimes I water it even twice a month. Sometimes I just even forget about it. The best way to treat this plant is to neglect it.
Okay, it's amazing though that once a month, this is a plant for me. Once a month, perfect, and it's like you said, it adapts to all the lights. So it's like, okay, great, perfect.
Because sometimes when you think about it, overwatering can kill the plant.
Yeah.
Underwatering is way better than overwatering.
Okay, something I didn't know as well.
Definitely, yeah. And this other plant, pink here, it's called red aglaonema, or maybe we can call it Chinese evergreen. It has another name like red valentine, pink splash.
It has so many different names.
So many different names.
Okay.
And you can see the leaves are gorgeous. They have like pink splash with the blotches. It's one of the hardiest plant around. It can survive, it can tolerate any condition. It thrives in low light. It thrives in bright light, and it will also tolerate low light. But if you can see, there are some leaves that are more pink
than the others. Some of them are like greener, and then some of them are really pink.
Yeah, that's because I kept the plant next to the window in the past few months. When you get it more bright direct light, the leaves will get more variegation and more pink.
I like that. I like that. So then the more you put in light, it's going to get pinker and pinker.
Yes. You have to bear in mind also the type of the plants and what does it need in order for you to remain the same foliage does it have.
Okay.
And this one is Monstera De Luciosa.
It's a really pretty plant.
It's a pretty plant.
It looks like it came out of a movie, like how they have these type of plants. Yeah.
Some people call it Swiss cheese. Some people call it monkey mask.
Nice, Swiss cheese.
It's got different names. I think this is one of the prettiest plant ever because it's lit. Because if you can see, it's got lacy looking
it's
leaves.
really pretty.
It's got fenestration. The leaves will get bigger if they climb, but I decide to let it trail. These plants are really easy in my opinion. And I kept this plant in a terracotta pot because it absorbs moisture and it will allow the soil to dry out faster. So this is one way to prevent overwatering, which is to put your plant into a terracotta pot.
I love this plant. Like I said, it looks like it came out of a movie. Now that you said Swiss cheese, now I'm looking at it, it's like, it is Swiss cheese because of the holes, but it's a really pretty plant.
It's pretty.
And I feel like the more the leaves get bigger, it even becomes prettier and prettier.
It is. But each one of those plants have different requirements. For example, this plant is called Anthurium. It's very delicate. It requires high humidity, so I put this under the humidifier, and I have another one that I put it into a greenhouse, so it gets enough humidity. Because if you don't give it enough humidity, it will crisp. And
then become like that really brown.
It will have brownness, it will crisp, it will not have the same velvety touch.
I would say you're saying humidity. What about if you put it outside since it's very humid?
It's actually, surprisingly, some of my plants are thriving outside because it seems like I'm living in an indoor jungle. I don't have any space for more plants. So I'm sending some of the plants, as long as the weather is getting better, I'm sending some of the plants outside, and it's surprisingly thriving.
Okay, that's amazing, especially with this heat and everything. I'm guessing the humidity is helping.
But of course not in the sun. I'm keeping them in my terrace and under a shaded area.
So there's a bit of shaded area. It's just but the humidity is getting to them. What would you say is the most common mistake people do during trying to grow their houseplants?
I would say they don't pick the right plant, or they don't really decide which place or which spot do they want to put the plant. Because I would say, for example, this plant, or let's say the Monstera Dawsonii, would thrive in my house because I put it in next to the east window in the
correct conditions.
Bright and direct light, while others would take it and they would put it next to a window where it's getting the west sun, the afternoon sun, and it's going to burn the leaves. So get the plant in the right spot. So if you're starting a new house, if you're wanting to put a plant in a corner, just think about it first. What kind of light condition does it get? And what do you have time to care for the plant or not? So if you don't have time, you should get a low maintenance plant. For example, there's a plant called Zamia. It's a low maintenance plant. It tolerates low light, and it requires watering once a month or once every 6 weeks, which makes it easier for people with busy schedules. But if you are you have time for the plants and you want to take care, so get a calathea. I mean, calatheas require frequent watering, frequent humidifier.
This would be a plant you'd get if you have time to do this.
Yes, if you have time, exactly. And of course, the common mistakes that I received from everyone reaching out to me on my Instagram is the water and the medium. If you have the medium, chunky and airy, that allows the roots to breathe, you will prevent root rot. Because there are so many people that I follow up with, and I ask them to remove the soil, and I need to check the roots. I see that it's rotten, and even when they pull the plant out of the soil, there's no more roots left because it's all mushy and So overwatering and the right medium is one of the main mistakes that people, and I really want to educate everyone to have the right medium for your plant. Chunky medium is the best. Water it only when it needs. Stick your finger in the soil, check if it's dry or not.
Check if it's dry or not.
Use a moisture meter. That's the main thing.
The main thing. Can you tell our viewers what is your favorite house plant and what you would recommend for people to get?
My favorite, forever favorite houseplant is Monstera De Luciosa. I couldn't bring it here because it's huge.
It's huge.
It's gorgeous. It's got big leaves with fenestration and whole. The more it matures, the more it provides, or it develops more holes, and the foliage is just stunning. I think it would add a touch to any kind of decor, and it's just amazing. That's one of my favorite plants ever. It's actually not my first plant, but I've got many of it, and I've got many types. For example, this is a Monstera, but the Monstera itself has so many
different branches, and within that.
So yeah,
That would be your favorite plant.
that's actually definitely my favorite
Thank
plant.
you, Noor. Hopefully
you so
people
much.
understand now that actually you need to pay attention to what your plant needs so they
Definitely,
can survive.
definitely they should.
Yes,
definitely.
I'm one of those people as well. I need to pay
Okay,
attention.
I really hope that you get some of the tips.
Oh yes, for sure, for sure.
That's great. That's great.
Thank you, Noor.
Thank you so much.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Amina Tajer is a technology speaker with a remarkable background from artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, 3D simulation to blockchains. He's founder of artificial intelligence company called Infiniteware. He also became a content creator on social media. Hello and welcome to our studio today.
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
So, tell us, how did you think of creating Infiniteware?
Yeah, so we started maybe 12 years ago. It was actually a game development business.
Okay.
It was called Engine Technology. So Engine is a very sacred word in the game development business. And yeah, after a while we pivoted to just focus on artificial intelligence, since this is the thing that we do really good.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, we got a couple of clients here and then we started building our own products, which was really cool because in my humble opinion, products scale, services don't.
Yes, that is true. That is very true.
Yeah, so that was really interesting. And I think it's a really humbling journey and a beautiful one, at least on a personal level, I would say.
Yeah, but I like how you guys went from gaming to something completely different.
Yeah, you gotta pivot every now and then.
Yeah, it's like
just don't overdo it.
It was like a trial and error. Let's go from gaming, but no, let's go to something completely different field. But it's something amazing because it's not something that we actually have a lot of in Bahrain as well.
So this is one of the things that we started. Actually, before starting the business, I had the community here in Bahrain. It was called Bahrain Game Developers. Around 2012 when I came back from the States. It was really challenging because when I started here, I wanted to have a sort of a gathering with geeky friends,
that we all have the same interests as well.
Exactly. Yeah. But it was extremely hard because it's not a common thing. You've got gamers, but not game developers.
Yes, correct.
And people were really scared, when it comes to just showing up.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting because now when I compare Bahrain Now against like 12 or 10 years ago, it's a completely different story now.
Yeah, of course, everyone has to improve some way or another.
Yeah,
and you have to grow. And like you said, you have to pivot from this to this so it becomes different.
Yeah, cool.
So you make videos on social media about artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Is it a rare content, yani? Is it something very different?
It's very different in the Arabic world, let's say.
Yeah.
Thing is, the content of that sort in the English world, like if you go on YouTube and you write artificial intelligence, you're gonna get like a dozen results. You're gonna,
of course,
yeah, it doesn't.
It's something big in the outside world.
It's exactly, but in this part of the world, I feel that there's a huge need to bridge that gap and to do it in a slang way, in a very traditional / classic way. It feels so awesome. People connect better because for a very long time, there's been this taboo that tech subjects are very difficult and they're for basically the geeky kind.
Yeah, and people think they can't understand it, but no, of course you can.
But when you break it down, in its really basic terms, it's very simple to understand. Even like when AI on the outside, like if you just hear it, you feel like, oh, this is black magic.
Yeah.
But when you really break it down, it's just a couple of algorithms doing really a great job.
Yeah. How did you decide to do it? How did you decide to come and actually go on Instagram and talk about this?
Yeah, so I do a lot of talks. I do train central banks. I do train a lot of banks, board of directors and banks.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do train them on artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, machine learning, these trendy topics for them to build a business out of it. Now, the problem that I had is that these elements are not so up to my standard because basically you got a lecture, you got a workshop that you have to do. But with my content, I can rely on the graphics that I want to use, the way I want to present it. Because
the way you want to make it interesting for people.
Exactly.
So you get to play with that as well.
And I do a lot of comedy. So when you see my shows, there's definitely a joke inside.
Yeah, okay, so you're going to laugh anyway. It's not like a very serious that you have to listen all the time, 24/7 and pay
It's very funny and it's in Arabic. And I think that's what people are interested in. They want to connect, they want to feel authentic, and they want to basically have fun.
And they're connecting on a simpler way. You're making it actually more simple for people to understand.
Exactly.
Like you said, everybody looks at it as the geeky type of thing, but it's not. How would you say that artificial intelligence can improve a business?
Definitely on many fronts. So, for example, if you are a business that focuses on computer vision, imagine you're doing a safety business, and this is the kind of work that we have with the government.
Yeah.
Imagine you have a oil company, and you want to detect if people are, basically smoking cigarettes on the outside, and that somehow can damage the business, or,
Correct.
It's probably a hazard. With machine learning, we can have the capability to really tell on spot from the video, even if the video is not clear. So this
Okay.
is one of the use cases that we built for some of our customers. And you can go for miles if you want, but even like in the financial space and the entrepreneurship space as well. So the beautiful thing about artificial intelligence is that it is a horizontal layer.
Okay.
There's so many things you can build on top of it, so many shared characteristics that you
Yeah,
can use.
it's not just artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
There's more to it that people just need
Yeah.
to learn about it to understand it.
However, the key element in all of that is having data.
Yeah.
Clean data.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that we normally, spend a lot of time, and when we go to a customer, a lot of people believe it's just a plug and play component.
Yeah.
But the reality is you have to understand how their infrastructure is operating. Even financial institutions, they suffer big time because they have the data, but sometimes it's not clean.
It's not clean, and it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not understandable as well, if you could put it
Very
that way.
true.
Yeah,
Very true.
yeah. There's so many different things that you don't realize the different factors that's behind all of it.
I can tell that you have personal stories.
Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe I've heard a few.
Okay.
What would you say is the future of technology and artificial intelligence in Bahrain itself?
Yeah, so in Bahrain, I think it's pretty exciting because AI on its own is a very advanced field, and
Yeah.
it spans so many disciplines. You've got math, you've got technology, like as in software, and these things are the things that we excel in,
Yeah.
Bahrainis, for example, and it doesn't take a lot of capital, at least in the tangible space. So it's not like a factory where you have to spend a lot of money getting
Yeah.
equipment and then starting a business. Here, just like with game development, is just being really good at your craft and then building a business model, a profitable business model out of it. And I think we have the caliber. I've seen it with my own eyes. The thing that I want to focus on, though, is the government is doing a great job.
Yeah.
Nobody can deny that. However, focus is the thing that I want to really focus on.
Focus on that's a future. You want like, I need to focus on this. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
Of course,
because
there are some parts that need a bit more focus than
Yeah,
what they
exactly.
realize.
So look, even when we're talking about government initiative, it's so cool having the liquidity and subsidy all over the place, but
Yeah.
sometimes you want to focus on where you might really excel, and
Correct.
technology is one of those elements.
One of those elements, and of course with the pandemic as well,
course.
technology is just
yeah, don't get me
gone
started.
from nothing to everywhere else. Like it's
Yeah.
So
Cool.
especially for you guys, you've seen that as well, how it's changed so
exactly.
quickly.
Yeah, content creation, software, you get to have, the basically the time and effort to really
To-
focus and
yeah.
reflect again.
What would you say is your future plans, especially for Infinite Wear?
Sure. So I'm a big fan of creating products, and I always have this conversation with my wife. It's about creating things that are really important and must have, rather than just having things nice to have.
Yeah, it should be more of a need than a want.
Exactly.
Yeah, it should
That's
be-
spot on.
Yeah.
And so I feel like here in Bahrain, maybe Bahrain is a really cool benchmark to start things, maybe, and then you can take things outside. But I would always create an AI product that can bridge the gap and give more bandwidth to fellow human beings,
Yeah.
especially in the corporate world, where
Yeah.
I feel that there's a lot of bandwidth being wasted on repetitive stuff, things like sending an email, things that you can just automate, and the machine is so much better than you when it comes to that.
Yeah, of course, and it's clear and it's automatic and direct. Yeah, us, it's like, okay, let's type
Yeah,
this
they're made
email
for
and
these
then
things.
send. And then, yeah, like you said, they're made for these things.
Yeah, so getting that capacity back is the way to go, because you can really focus on what matters
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with that. And hopefully the future, maybe we never know what's going to be next. The
Yeah, it's
machines,
gonna
I
be
think, are going to
That's part of the fun.
Yeah, that's part of the fun. They're going to be taking over
Yeah.
a lot of things. Is there any message you'd like to tell our viewers today?
Yeah, maybe I want to end up on the notion of just really get your literacy up on data, because this is where the future is heading.
Yeah.
You want to understand how to manipulate data, maybe get your skills in Excel, or Tableau or Power BI, one of those tools, and just, have AI somehow embedded in your core DNA, whether
Yeah.
you're a business or an NGO, it doesn't matter after all. But this is where the way things are changing, and you don't want to miss the bus.
Yeah, this is the future. Thank you, Amin, for that. This is the future that we're all actually going to be following
Yeah.
sooner or later.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen one day.
Sure.
Thank you, Amin.
My pleasure.
Viewers, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Now let's take a look at what's happening around Bahrain in the following report.
A two-day festival that showcases the best of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, including culture, food, and other activities, was held at Thai Mart in Diyar al-Muharra. The event was organized by the Royal Thai Embassy in Manama in collaboration with the embassies of Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Brunei Darussalam.
Our main objective here, is to bring ASEAN to the people of Bahrain, try to build more awareness because, as you know, Bahrain has just recently signed the treaty of acceding to the ASEAN. So they are technically now, that's the first step of really Bahrain joining ASEAN, and little by little, they will be integrated to what the ASEAN is doing. Thank God, the Kingdom of Bahrain and all of us have cooperated to make in addressing our COVID fight, and now we are able to at least come out and enjoy activities like this, and we take full advantage that it's also getting cooler now, and we're here at this beautiful venue of Thai Mart. So the ASEAN member countries who have missions here in Bahrain are Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, and Thailand, and we're all here represented. We have booths here showing our cultural products, native products, and also our industrial products. And there are also cultural booths outside where we have traditional food, street food, and even high-end food from our respective countries. And we also have entertainment. So you get more information on what ASEAN is, what the different member countries have to offer in terms of culture and even trade and economic opportunities. We can be your ASEAN could be the gateway of Bahrain to exploring further opportunities in our region, economic and trade and tourism opportunities. At the same time, we encourage our nationals to come here and make Bahrain their gateway to the GCC. We have a very beautiful venue here, and we hope to make more events, official as well as cultural, to make you more aware of what the ASEAN is. Thank you very much.
Well, this event is aimed to make the relation between Bahrain and Indonesia become closer and stronger. And this event is the first time we organized by Thai Embassy here. And this is very important for us, for Bahrain and ASEAN, to make stronger our relationship, and this event also to introduce our culture, our product, and our food and everything. So I'm going to say that see you in ASEAN countries very soon. See you in Indonesia, Brunei, Malaysia, Thailand, and the Philippines. Thank you very much.
So it's a very nice evening. The weather is perfect, and it's a perfect way also to enjoy the ASEAN Festival. It's very relaxing, and we can see countries from ASEAN is here, like from Indonesia, Malaysia, Brunei, Thailand, and also Philippines. And there's so many kinds of food that we can enjoy here. So it feels like home. So it's really good to be here.
The event was a great opportunity to learn more about Southeast Asian countries. Reporting for Bahrain International, I'm Mariam Al-Bayati. Thank you for watching.
Bahrain is home to many flourishing industries, with a notable example including that of hospitality, reflecting the hospitality of the Bahraini people and the culture. We're here at a hotelier roundtable in order to discuss how the industry will propel forward, particularly as Bahrain begins to shed off COVID-19 restrictions. Let's find out more.
With the government's support and initiatives that we have seen over the past months, it has helped the hotels in many ways. From our point of view, that things will only get better, and we have seen in the last couple of months how everything has rebounded positively, and we are glad of that.
we started the meeting by introducing the effect of the pandemic, COVID-19, on the world tourism industry. And then we moved to the current situation and what was the role of the government of Bahrain, which really supported the industry sector.
So the idea of this event came out by the fact that the industry was damaged. We noticed it as well with our communication compared to what hospitality and tourism industry. Not a lot of people were feeling concerned or were very knowledgeable about it or didn't know that much about it. So we said, how can we highlight them? How can we provide an additional knowledge, an additional fact to their knowledge in order for them to know more about the hospitality, to know more about the tourism, and to know more about the way this industry is facing the crisis. When we're talking about the crisis, we're talking about numbers, facts, figures, but it's about humanity when you look at it. And their main concern is how to keep our talent, how to attract new talent, and how to make this industry a desired industry, a desired career for the future youth of Bahrain and Bahrainis.
The nice thing about Bahrain is long term. This is not a place where you just come for one event. Most people come here and they stay for long, or like me, they come 20 years ago and then you come back. June of 2020, Four Seasons launched globally a program called Lead with Care. So it really all focused on safety and then preparing, the hotel and the room and the venue for the guest. And I think today this has become as important as having Wi-Fi in the hotel. Before COVID, they would ask you, do you have internet? And then before that, they used to ask if there's a restaurant. Now they look at the safety aspect. So there's no doubt, to your point, that safety has become paramount, and this is here to stay.
This pandemic shows us how to be resourceful, adaptable.
We've been reacting so quick and so fast. Yes, the country is small, so it's better in terms of reaction. Suddenly things just moving very, very quickly, and we're all going to the same direction.
There is a lot to do. I fill my weekend, I fill my day off, but I think we all should be, in my eyes, communicating and promoting each other. And the better we do, and the better the Four Seasons does, and the better Masso and the other venues do, the better we all do together. As Dr. Ali was saying, thinking about things on a macro scale. We can all collaborate and get together and highlight how wonderful a place Bahrain is to come. That's what's going to be key in setting us up for success in the future. Cultural things are great, but also from an activity standpoint, we have a Formula One track where you can take a Jaguar and drive around the track. You have a golf course, you can go and play golf. You have a beach, you can sunbathe. There's literally so many things. The food and beverage and hospitality, the quality of food and beverage businesses in Bahrain is immensely high. So I think there's just such a variety of things to do here that people need to come and taste it for themselves.
The Kingdom of Bahrain's unique culture and rigorous counter-COVID measures were praised, in addition to the government's investment in future talent through organizations such as Vatel.
Vatel is under the patronage of BTEA. So Vatel, in a way, is part of the government and has been established after His Majesty Vision 2030. It's part of the diversification of the economy sectors. My perspective as a school manager, it's needs for us for new curriculums. It means that we will need to update the curriculum with your support, because you will have needs and we will need to listen to what you need in order to be able to provide this knowledge to the future generations as well. And the second point would be to work or to collaborate closer with all of you. Currently we're working for internships and practical application, but we need to merge more. This is the way I'm seeing things, because we need you, you need us. So it's two legs of a body. And in fact, Vatel College or Vatel Business School is your school, it's your college. The Bahrainis are the key of Bahrain. When you know the Bahrainis, you're loving them. Bahraini has the hospitality in their DNA. Bahrainis are the main asset, the gold mine of the country.
To have such an establishment here in Bahrain, it is very important for the industry. When you train them, you groom them, and you show them how you can grow in the industry slowly, and you show them the other parts of the world where you can train them, and you open their eyes.
Thanks to our government, our leadership, They're always looking after their people and their business sector and so on. So, no worry, we are there. And inshallah, the coming days will be much, much better.
It's panels such as this one that foster discussion and further the adoption of industry in the Kingdom of Bahrain and perpetuates the kingdom's spirit of resilience even under difficult circumstances like that of the pandemic. This is Khalid Idris reporting for Bahrain International TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for another great episode of Bahrain Now. As usual, be sure to reach out to us on our social media accounts shown below. And stay tuned for more exciting segments on Bahrain Now. This is Lara Sam'an. Good night and God bless.